You're listening to Kizuki, the podcast. I'm Mae Yoshikawa, and I define the Japanese concept of Kizuki as the following. Kizuki. 1. A moment of epiphany, an aha of realization or insight which opens the knower to a new dimension of truth that was formerly unknown. 2. Steps in an incremental growth of awareness, resulting in a movement from ignorance to greater awareness of the bigger picture. A kind of knowing that cannot be undone, that cannot be unrealized. As a longtime yoga and meditation practitioner, a world traveler, and curious self-explorer, I'm obsessed with Kizukis. Listen on each week for inspiring and enlightening stories that may just tip you over for your next aha. On this week's episode, Sisterhood. Y'all, I just got back from an awesome vacation in Thailand, and it's really just once a year that I take 2 whole weeks off, no computer, very, very little touch base with business and work stuff, and just letting myself rest to my bones, connecting with my loved ones, my 2 boys, of course, and traveling to different parts of the world and exploring, opening our eyes and hearts, and reconnecting soulfully with some of the most important people in our lives. Well, to be clear, in my life. And then I kind of get to choose whose influence my boys get to be exposed to. So this year, we had a family conversation around, does Isa want to go to the summer camp in America again, or where would we like to go? And as a family, we decided to change things up a bit. The last 3, 4, maybe even 5 years, we've been to America, different parts of America, to visit different friends a number of times. And this year, for the first time, Isa said that he wants to try something different. And I said, well, between you and Aiden, the 6-year-old, and me, what might we all think is fun? And where in the world do we want to go to? And what do we want to do? And the kids said, I don't know, beach? And the first idea that popped into my mind was to visit my friend Aria in Thailand. Now, my gorgeous friend Aria is a very special person. She is the grand winner of Miss Thailand 1994, which launched her into this amazing career of doing like the top advertisement campaigns and making beautiful documentary films. And she's just been this national beloved actress. And she's currently also a radio personality, I think, to a point where, I don't know, somewhere in the late 90s, there was probably no one, very, very few people in Thailand that didn't know of her. She graced dozens of magazine covers and won awards and many things. She's a sister of mine. We met through yoga. I think back in, I want to say 2005, maybe. I believe it was the first large-scale international yoga conference that was held in Asia. It was in Hong Kong, and my Indian teacher was traveling and teaching, and so I went to Hong Kong, and I also took part in a demo that he was doing at the conference, where I met and was introduced to Aria, who was visiting from Bangkok in Hong Kong. And we met through people, but we just immediately connected. Some deep resonance, and we just befriended each other and kept in touch. I suppose our time in Hong Kong was really only just a couple days of a meetup, but we kept in touch. And in the following years, as I would often fly through Bangkok on my way from Tokyo to Bangalore in South India to further my studies in yoga, every now and again I would visit with Ariya in her house in Bangkok. I think we also had some time in the island of Koh Samui. And yeah, through these many years, we've always just kept in touch. Now, as some of you know, in the last 6 years plus of my life has dramatic, I guess, to say the least. Well, where do I even begin? I met and remarried my second husband. We had another baby, that's Aiden, and he suddenly died in a traffic accident. And I fell off the face of the earth. I was just deeply grieving for a good few years. COVID hit. I ended up shifting my entire wellness studio and business online. And so, as with many of you, I'm sure, a lot of things happened. And before I knew it, it had been 12 years before seeing Ariya again. We actually thought it was 9 years. We were like, when was the last time you were in Bangkok? And I thought it was 2015. But I went back into all of my photo albums on my phone to look at the pictures that we last took together. Turns out it wasn't 2015. It was actually 2012. I was in Bangkok in 2012 for another yoga conference where both she and I were teaching. And it was really sweet. Ariya reminded me that she lives just within Bangkok, but just on the outskirts. But she ended up staying with me in my hotel room. But gosh, man, time flies. And before we knew it, it had been 12 years. So earlier this year, when I contacted her and said, hey, how would you feel about my kids and I flying to Bangkok and just visiting you in Thailand? And she, of course, immediately said, well, yes, I would love that. And on top of that, what really, really just captured my heart was that she said, I can't wait to be the best auntie to your children. So, yeah, with that invitation, we decided to visit Ariya, and we spent a few days in the southern region of Krabi, where we had a lot of fun adventures like kayaking and a beautiful freshwater spring. We went on a boat through mangrove jungles to really exotic restaurants that are floating in the water. Jumped and played in the pool many times. We stayed right by the ocean, met some people, ate great food, and just really, really bonded with Ariya and also with her Thai friends. Back in Bangkok, we had the luxury of staying with her at her beautiful house and really just got to deeply rest, make no plans, free flow each day, and eat lots of pad thai. I mean, we just had a beautiful time. But you know, for me, this luxury of time, vacation, is never really about the place. And it's always about the people, our hearts, connecting and reconnecting. The meaning of what we value in life, what we're going through in our lives, and what we're learning, and how we inspire each other, uplift each other, encourage each other, support each other, and really be that chosen family richly in that presence with each other. So as I come back from this vacation, I find myself reflecting over and over again, on just that, the sisterhood, the family, the soul connection. When you think about it, so many people, so often, many times every day in life, get so engaged trying to work hard for acknowledgement, to be liked, or at least not hated by other people, to be acknowledged, to be recognized, to be someone in someone's eyes. But oh no, as far as I can tell you, that's not how it goes in true connection. The resonance is natural. The resonance just happens magnetically, like a chemical reaction. There's no effort involved. And I'm beginning to grasp somewhat of a common thread in all of my sisters spread in different parts of the world. And these are some of the values and attitudes and morals that all my sisters powerfully have in common in their presence and existence without hardly even ever talking about it. They're all real with themselves. Some of my friends are celebrity figures like Aria, or they're famous people. They are somebody in the world also. But when you meet them as a person, as a sister, they're real people with real problems, just like any one of us, and they're not living in some la-la land, you know? They're authentic. They're also resilient. The attitude with which they take on the challenges of life leans positively forward. And I want to say that with oomph. Coming from one sister to another, let's say, because I know that I've seen the depths of darkness in my life. And I have witnessed my sisters go through their own, and they kept their eyes open through it. There is a resilience, a strength, and a vulnerability in their existence that I value and I want to honor so much and uplift in this world, not just in them, but perhaps in some of you listeners. I believe that we're connecting in this way because we have these values in common. Authenticity, resilience, vulnerability, and inner quiet strength. Oh, and yes, every one of my sisters, you know, for all that bitching and women against women kind of catfight, whatever ideas that get thrown out in the world, none of my sisters, my friends, are jealous people. We almost repel that because there's room for none of that kind of bickering, gossiping, or being jealous of each other around me and around my sisters. Quite on the contrary, we're always eager to uplift, support, encourage, inspire each other. We're always exchanging inspiring words, quotes, books, ideas, people, connections, networking, support, presence, and we're exchanging homes, right? Our time and our presence with each other. And I'm betting that you also, who found my podcast in one way or another, are connecting with me because you have these same values of authenticity, resilience, a quiet inner strength, keeping your eyes open and staying real and grounded through your challenges, and the courage to keep your eyes open. And of course, the willingness, the eagerness even, to uplift each other. So I want to quote, well, a famous quote, but in my life, this quote, almost always, 99% of the time, comes from my dear friend, another sister in Toronto. You know who you are. She is one of the most compassionate people I've ever met in my entire life. And she is always the one who reminds me, rising tide lifts all ships. So let's do it. Let's do it together. We can all uplift each other, as it's the uplifting each other and togetherness that will lift us all. Thank you for listening. Learn more about me in my upcoming book, Kizuki, Realizations Beyond Time and Death, at my website, maey.live, or find me on Instagram at maeyoshiKawa.